The Nectar of Devotion, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 51. Perverted Expression of Mellows. Rasābhāsa, or incompatible mixtures of mellows, can be classified as uparasa, false expression; anurasa, imitation; and aparasa, perverted or misrepresented mellows. There is the following statement by an impersonalist who had just seen Krishna. Quote, "When a person has passed completely from all contamination of material existence, he relishes a transcendental bliss of being established in trance. But as soon as I saw you, the original personality of Godhead, I experienced the same bliss." End quote. This perverted reflection of mellows is called Shanta uparasa, or a perverted reflection of mixed impersonalism and personalism. There is another statement as follows. Quote, "Wherever I am glancing, I simply see your personality. Therefore I know you are the uncontaminated Brahman effulgence, the supreme cause of all causes. I think there is nothing but you in this cosmic manifestation." End quote. This is another example of uparasa, or a perverted reflection of impersonalism and personalism. When Madhumangala, an intimate friend of Krishna, was dancing before Krishna in a joking manner, no one was paying attention to him, and he jokingly said, quote, "My dear Lord, please be merciful upon me. I am praying for your mercy." End quote. This is an example of uparasa in fraternal affection and neutrality. Kamsa once addressed his sister Devaki as follows. Quote, "My dear sister, having seen your dear son Krishna, I think that he is so strong that he can kill even wrestlers strong as the mountains. So I will have no more anxieties about him, even if he is engaged in a terrible fight." End quote. This is an instance of uparasa and a perverted reflection of parental love. In the Lalita Madhava, Srila Rupa Goswami says, quote, "The wives of the Yajnik Brahmins were all young girls, and they were attracted to Krishna in the same way as the gopis of Vrindavan. Out of their attraction, they distributed food to Krishna." End quote. Here the two devotional mellows are conjugal love and parental love, and the result is called uparasa, in conjugal love. One of the friends of Srimati Radharani told her, quote, "My dear friend Gandharvika, Radharani, you were the most chaste girl in our village, but now you have divided yourself and are partially chaste and partially unchaste. It is all due to Cupid's influence upon you after you saw Krishna and heard the sound of his flute." End quote. This is another example of uparasa caused by divided interests in conjugal love. According to some expert learned scholars, the feelings between lover and beloved create perverted reflections of mellows in many ways. Quote, "The gopis have become purified by Krishna's glance, and as such, Cupid's influence is distinctly visible on their bodies." End quote. Although in the material sense the glancing of a boy at a girl is a kind of pollution, when Krishna threw his transcendental glance at the gopis, they became purified. In other words, because Krishna is the absolute truth, any action by him is transcendentally pure. After Krishna chastised the Kali and Naga in the Yamuna River by dancing on his heads, the Kali and Naga wives addressed Krishna. Quote, "My dear cowherd boy, we are all only young wives of the Kali and Naga, so why do you agitate our minds by sounding your flute?" End quote. Kali's wives were flattering Krishna so that he would spare their husband. Therefore, this is an example of uparasa, or imitation. One devotee said, quote, "My dear Govinda, here is a nice flowery bush in Kailas. I am a young girl, and you are a young poetic boy. After this, what more can I say? You just consider." End quote. This is an example of uparasa caused by impudency in conjugal love. When Narada Muni was passing through Vrindavan, he came to the Bandiravana forest and saw in one of the trees the famous parrot couple that always accompanies Lord Krishna. The couple was imitating some discussion they heard upon the Vedanta philosophy, and thus they were seemingly arguing upon various philosophical points. Upon seeing this, Narada Muni was struck with wonder, and he began to stare without moving his eyelids. This is an example of anurasa, or imitation. When Krishna was fleeing away from the battlefield, from a distant place Jarasandha was watching him with restless eyes, and was feeling very proud. Being thus puffed up with his conquest, he was repeatedly laughing. This is an example of aparasa. Everything in connection with Krishna is called ecstatic devotional love, although it may be exhibited in different ways, sometimes in right order and sometimes as a perverted reflection. According to the opinion of all expert devotees, anything that will arouse ecstatic love for Krishna is to be taken as an impetus for transcendental mellow. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta summary study of Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami.